So not really an unboxing, but a video about these heated grips from Honda, and they look relatively easy to install, I say. So this is the part number, if you can see that. Let's have a little look. It's a Honda original equipment, and what comes in the box are the two grips, and this I don't know what that is, one of those, don't know where it goes, there are no instructions, and some glue to glue the grips on. Just seems to be, it's called hand grip cement, but just seems to be a tube of glue. So that's what you get in the box, and we're going to be installing them to my brand new Honda X ADV 750 in black. Wanted a yellow one, but I couldn't be bothered to wait, so we got a black one, and at the moment it's completely stock, so there isn't any upgrades as far as I'm aware on it. The only thing I've fitted so far is my Beeline Moto 2, which just clicks on and off to this bracket. There is a video that I've made about how you install that bracket. It's very simple. So other than that, no modifications. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go with this left grip, and from what I can see there is two connectors. In fact, you should be able to see them there. There's one here and one the other side here, for left and right as far as I can tell, because I've got no instructions, as I say. And once it's connected, I believe you need to go to the dealer and get them programmed into the bike, and I shall be going in 4 days' time for my first service. So at that time they can connect it up. Let's see if I can get this left hand grip off. Let's pop you up on the tripod. We've got an 8mm Allen key holding the bar end on, as far as I can tell. It's very tight. It does seem to be coming off. Let's have a go with my gun. There we go. That was much easier. So, okay. They're relatively well machined, look. Interesting setup. Now, I don't think this is going to be in our way too much. I wonder what's going to get this off. Always loathed to put screwdrivers and things down them, but needs must. Let's find something appropriate in my toolbox. Somewhere I've got a sort of screwdriver that doesn't have a screwdriver bit on it. This is the one. It's got like a little point on it. So what I'm thinking is, let's get myself a little bit of lubrication in a moment. There we go. I'm not sure I'm even going to need lube. Just slowly wind that round, and then the only problem is it might not go deep enough. Look, I need to get something a bit longer in there, and then yeah, let me go and get some lubrication. Never forget your lube. Right, a little bit of lubrication in there. Twist that around again. Now, plenty of movement there. Let's put a longer screwdriver in there. I don't really want to damage that grip because I might use it again. You never know. I'm getting very loose, goosey-loosey now. Very loose. Yeah, I think she's loose. I think she's going to come off now. That's enough screwdriver action. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Feeling the positive vibes. There we go. No damage to the grip. And I have to say, these grips that come as standard on the Honda are very nice and grippy. They're called grips. They should be grippy. Yeah, quite impressed. And there is a significant difference in the amount of rubber. So the sort of squishiness from the original one to the heated grip, although they are identical in their overall appearance. So the hand feel should be the same. All right, let's get some of that lubrication off of there. I'm not going to put my glue on there just yet. I'm going to just see if I can slide it on. I don't think I can. Oh look, I've also noticed, let me get the camera, that there seems to be a slot in there for this cable to go into there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can open up this unit and then thread the cable in through there, out the bottom, and run it along. So I think I'll pause you there and see if I can open that up off camera, and then we'll go from there. And if I have opened it up, I'll explain and show how I've done that afterwards. Right, okay, so next step. So what I've ended up doing is I unbolted the handguard from here and I loosened what is the rear brake assembly. And what I have done is I just made a little mark. I don't know if you can see that little black mark there and a little black mark in there, so I can reline those back up. Once you've loosened that off, you can then just take 2 screws out of this unit, and that will allow us to pass this cable through. And what I did was I also marked in there where I wanted this cable to end up. So let's see if I can put that all back together and it to look nice. Let's go from there. So this bit is going to go, so there's the cable. That wants to end up being over there in a minute. So what we'll do is we'll just thread that up there, and I think it wants to come out at the bottom. It's not easy to show you this on the camera, but as far as I'm aware, that should be it. So this is why it's worth making a video, because so it wants to go, get that this way, it wants to go in through that slot, down and out that way, get that back into the location, down through there, and there we go. Just obviously never done this before, so I'm learning the same as you. Just fell out in the last moment. I think I'm making this look harder than it needs to be. Right, well, I'd say, again, it feels like something's not right, but no reason for it. That can go there. Okay, I think we've mastered it, and it's ended up in the right position. Screwdriver, yeah. So these are the screws that go in. There's 2 of them, and that's the reason why I loosened off the rear brake. That's it. Again, I'm making this look more difficult than it needs to be. There we go. Twist, twist, twist. It's quite a long bolt, that. What happens? Second one. It's ever so windy today. Struggling to find a place to make this video. I'm sure the light isn't the best, but hopefully in post edit we'll get that out. Right, so we just check that it's in the right location, which it is. Now I'll just pinch it up tight. One, just move that out of the way to get to the other one. That's it. A bit of glue hanging around from the grip. So I'll just double check that I've got them not over tight but tight enough. Yep, that one's good. That one's good. Now to put this back in the right location, just ease them off a bit more. Alright, there's a little white dot from the manufacturer. Get them torqued to spec. So that's that back on. And then we have got so that's the first grip on the bike. Now we've just got to connect it, and what we'll do is that will go following the rest of the wiring that way, and there'll be a way around, and I think this should just be very easy. Obviously you can't see much, but I'm going to click that on. Yeah, there's like a cap over the top of it. Let's see if I can remove that. That's what I think. I think that needs to go away. Yep, I was correct. Nearly lost the cap, but come on, magic fingers, go magic fingers. No, it's not happening. Yep, it is. So there you go, there's a blanking cap over those, hence why I couldn't get it on. And then it is very easy to just snap it on. So that's the left hand grip done, and yeah, that didn't take me that long. I did cut, there's a little bit of an edit here where I glued the grip and slid it on, But other than that, I've done everything on camera. So now let's have a look at the other side. Right, now we're going to go over to the throttle side, and I believe that this is going to be a similar affair, but we are going to have to connect the throttle, which it's not got a cable on it, so it's a ride-by-wire. So I mean, it should be very simple. Now on the back of this unit are 3 screws, so what I'm going to do is, now on the first one, oh yeah, you can't see it, but there is a little tiny white dot that donates where this locates, this unit, which is comprising of your handbrake and the front brake. So the first thing to do is to remove the bar end, which I've loosened already off camera. So that can go out of the way. And then I think, as the other side was a bit of a pain, sorry, all my tools are off camera, I'm going to remove this again. I think I want to remove it completely. That's it. So that's that out of the way. Then I'm going to need an 8mm to loosen the 2 nuts on here. Purely just so I can slide that around and about, up and down wherever I need to. There seems to be a lot of play on that. Oh, there we go. I can move it a bit. Back to my screwdriver. Now there's 3 screws. Now this bottom one is a small one, so I'm not sure what that was doing. I'll leave it hanging in the back. Ah, I know what this is for. Right, so this little piece, remember I showed you at the beginning of the video, there is a little slot just for that. Okay, and it goes, I'll show you, let me grab the camera. It goes up on here, can you see that? And there's a little bit that's sticking out. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera. It goes on there, and then the screw goes back in, and that is going to be so that you can cable tie the cable outside of it, or maybe it doesn't go through it, but so that makes me question, so that this, yeah, it doesn't go inside, but we do need to open it up so that we can get access to, we need to remove the old grip. So let's pop you back on. So I think while we're here, I think we'll just install that. It's funny how that became apparent so easily. Right, so that's the small screw, and we've identified its purpose. Now let's undo these, and on the other side I had to completely remove the screws, so let's do the same. So that's the top one, and then the bottom one we can reach as well, which is nice. And what I'm going to do before I place them down is just see if they're the same. Could be that one's longer than the other, for example. Right, that's come off very easily. So the screws are the same, so we don't need to worry about mixing them up. And this back has come off very easily, which is nice. Now, how does this work? Still still a bit of a mystery. So we've got two more screws. Right, there's no point showing you, it's not that exciting. There's two more screws, and this time they are silver in colour, and they're very short. Yeah, these little ones. Let's put them over here so I don't lose them. There's one. So there's one on the bottom left, one on the top right, and for this one we are definitely going to have to move this out of the way somewhat. We might even have to undo that completely just to get enough access. That's a bit of a shame, I didn't want to have to do that, because I don't want this brake reservoir to have to flop about. It's handy this has got a big seat to keep everything on. Right, let's remove that completely. And the same with the other one. Maybe that's enough. No. It's going to be tricky putting that back together. Right. So the handbrake doesn't matter if it's flopping about, but this might. So let's keep that upright while we're working, if we can. Right, that's that one loose. What a game. So that's the second one. I'm going to put that one in my pocket because I can't really walk away from this. Now, are you loose? Are you not loose? What's happening? Oh, yeah, you are loose. Okay, so then it means this just pulls off the end. No glue required. And then this one just slides back in its place. It can only go in one position, as far as I can see. Now we just need to get that. There we go. That isn't too difficult, actually, he says. Once again, famous last words. Get my screw back out of my pocket, which has decided to hide itself right in the corner of my pocket. Oh dear. Right, let's hold that with that arm. Get my screwdriver back out of my pocket. This isn't that difficult. So, like that. And now we'll get this lined back up. That way we don't have to worry about that anymore. Well, that's in there. Now the trickier one I would suggest. No, that's not been too bad. All in all, I don't think this is very difficult at all. I have to admit, I fitted Oxford heated grips to my Forza 350, and that took a lot of work. I had to shave down this, the grip comes off, and then the hard plastic bit underneath, I had to shave that down, which took me ages. I ended up using a flap disc. So the Honda ones, I think, are the way to go. So we'll put the two small silver screws back in. The top one is done. And now the bottom one also. Now, so there's our little bit that we screwed on, it's fitted on. You can see that now in the camera. And that goes at the bottom. So that's also handy to know. Fits on nicely. Noted that the two screws were the same, so we don't need to worry about them going in the wrong orifice. And actually that brake lever is not particularly in the way, luckily. Right, so just knit them up as tight as we dare. That's that one. That's that one. Oh, there's a... Oh, I see. So this little cliplet on the cable is definitely going to go in that slot. Let's remove that. Now, what needs to be put back on? Lining back up, there's a little tiny white dot in there, which you could probably barely see even if I showed you on the camera, but it's there nonetheless. Right, get the torque spec right on that. That's it. I think that's perfect specification. Now, as before, this is going to go, so let's get you off the tripod so you can see. There we go. Now look, here's this little clip, and what's going to happen is that the cable wants to go over that way, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to literally, maybe from the bottom, clip that, can you see this, onto there, and there we go. That's so that when that twists, it holds it in the right location. Very clever. Well done, Honda. Let's pop you back up there. Now, running this cable as the other one, it's going to want to go underneath some stuff down there. Okay, down that way, I reckon. Now I'm going to use my trusty long flat headed screwdriver, and in here is a dummy plug, as we found out on the first side. So I reckon you push that with your screwdriver. There she goes. She's come nicely. Even managed to retrieve it. Yeah. Now, where did we go with our little... Now this one's a bit different because it's already like angled up for you. So, in my opinion, it wanted to be around the other way, but I'm sure the techs at Honda know what they're doing. More than I do, as you can see. Fiddly. Oh, it's sort of a fiddly little... There we go, and she's snapped in to place. So all that's left to do is... let's just take you off of there again, because what this has, this bike, it's got a little rubber... There you go. And there's two more. There's one here on this side, and did I see another one? Yes, there's a bigger one just in there. So what we can do is we'll undo those, and then that will be the wiring all done. Don't need any cable ties. You almost wouldn't have known that I was here. So there you go. That is the Honda branded heated grips gone on to the XADV 750. All that remains for me to do is this repeat of the other side, which is put the handguard on, which you've already seen. Right, back inside my workshop, and the heated grips are quite simple to fit, as I've showed you. And the next step with them would be to get them to work. And unfortunately, I'll just take the camera off. The tripod, unfortunately, you have to get the dealer to install them onto the software of the bike. So that is a little bit annoying. However, I took my bike in after 1 week. I needed the first service anyway because I've done over 1,000 kilometers. So I just asked, can you install them? And they did, didn't charge me anything. So it could be, if you've got a nice dealer, that they wouldn't charge you, especially if you were going to be buying the bike from them, etc, etc, etc. So I don't think that's a massive pain. Although if you were 2-hour ride away from your dealer, that could be annoying, couldn't it? You might find somewhere on the internet that someone does know how to do that. Maybe it's a series of buttons or whatever, and you can install them. But I didn't have that luxury. So the way things work, so let's start the bike up. And so the way things work, up on the dashboard, you've got this little controller here, your thumb controller. If I turn it to the right, you get a little menu on the dashboard, and there's 4 different aspects to that menu. The second one down is the heated grips. Click again to the right, and then you can go up or down 5 stages. So obviously now this is off. The other thing to do is up here on the little star, you can allocate that button to do a couple of different things. And what I've done is allocated to the heated grips. So hold it down, it'll come straight to there, and then it's just up and down to choose your temperature. I have found that on number 2, in a spring weather, in a summer glove, it's adequate. It's quite warm now, so I don't know what it's going to be like in the depths of winter with thick gloves on, how hot they'll get. Perhaps someone already knows, but I think Honda heated grips are quite good. So that's how they work. What else can I tell you about them? So ergonomically, they're identical to these standard grips. So they're as thick or as thin, depending on which way you want to look at it, as them. They're exactly the same size. The only thing I would say is that there is essentially less rubber. So they're not as rubbery as the standard grips. But I haven't found that to be any kind of a problem. So, yeah, certainly for road riding. Off-road riding, perhaps a more grippy grip might be useful. But as things stand, everything seems fine. So thanks for watching this little video on installing the heated grips. And it was actually a pretty easy job that I think most people could do. That said, of course, the dealer will do it for you at a charge, but I think part of the fun of owning a bike is tinkering around with it and playing around with it. And obviously these brand new bikes, there's not going to be an awful lot of heavy tinkering. You're not going to be pulling the engine apart or anything like that. So these are things that most people could do. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and please subscribe, and please try and follow along with the experience on the X ADV that I'm going to have. I'm sure it's going to be useful to many, and thanks for watching. See you next time.